Hello, and welcome to Kneehill Scoop, Kneehill County's very first official podcast. My name is Christine. I'm a communications coordinator by day and podcast host by one afternoon a month. We have a very special guest with us today to help kick this podcast off. But before we begin, I just want to quickly share some announcements and some news that are coming from the county. So here's what's happening as of January 30th, 2025. Kneehill County crews have been busy clearing the roads. I don't know if you've noticed, but we've had some wild nor'westers lately, and they are creating lots of fun, lots of visibility issues when you're trying to drive at night, and of course, a lot of drifting on our roads. So if you ever spot a problem out there, if you're on the gravel and you see some deep drifts, make sure you give us a call, 403-443-5541, or you can use our handy-dandy form on our website, the Report a Concern form. You'll find it right there on the homepage. You know, while we're talking about snow clearing, there's often some confusion out there, kind of who's responsible for what. So Kneehill County, we take care of the local gravel roads. We do the snow plowing in our hamlets. We do have some pavement and chip seal roads that we also take care of, and I think maybe that lends to the confusion. The list is actually on our website. If you go to the road ban page, they're all listed there. It's the same. It's like the Airport Road, Allingham Road, Buffalo Jump Road. They call it the Hasty Highway, the Gore Road, the Linden Home Road. There's Linden East, Linden West, and then the PBI Road. So those ones we all maintain. But any double digit, any triple digit highways that you see out there, 805, 806, 27, 21, you get the drift. Those are all provincially maintained, so we have nothing to do with those. And MCON has the current contract, I do believe. So if you do see problems on those highways, make sure that you give them a call. You may have seen this on social media or in the newspaper, but Kneehill County is taking part in the Brood initiative. So Brood is not a delicious cup of coffee. It is the Business Retention and Expansion and Workforce Development Survey. So we want to hear from local businesses, our farmers, and our entrepreneurs. This project is aimed at strengthening our local businesses, supporting job creation, and attracting investment to our community. So if you want to take part in that survey, there are prizes to be won. You can either check out page 2 of the Three Hills Capital, which is where the Kneehill County Corner is, or you can visit our website to take part in that survey and provide us with some sweet, sweet data. You may also have seen this in the paper, but Kneehill County is now hiring for our seasonal summer positions. So we're looking for transportation labor, utility labor, that's working with our water guys, a mowing technician, parks technician, and vegetation management. So if you want to learn more about those positions and how to apply, just visit our website. Elsewhere in the county, what else is going on? 2025 is a municipal election year. So the next general municipal election will be held on Monday, October 20th, 2025. And there's quite a bit new when it comes to the Local Authorities Election Act and the Municipal Government Act. If you want to head over to our webpage, it explains more. It explains the changes that impact the voters and that impact the candidates. So make sure you head over there to find out more. Our community grant applications are open now. So those are for nonprofits that are operating in Kneehill County. They have to have society status for at least 2 years, and they can apply to receive some grant funding from the county. So again, I know I sound like a broken record, but all of this and more information is available on our website. You may have heard this from the last council meeting, but the master rates bylaw has been passed. So this bylaw is the one that establishes rates and fees, and it aligns with the 2025 budget, which was passed in December of 2024. So with that master rates bylaw, there are a few changes to fees, a few minor increases. Garbage has gone up, that's for Hamlet residential garbage pickup, has gone up from $50 to $55 every 2 months. Bulk water has gone up by 30 cents, so that's $5.15 per cube now. Hamlet water rates, so for Huxley and Wimborne, the water rates are up by 20 cents. And then for our water distribution system rurally, those rates have gone up by 20 cents as well. So it's now $4.05 per cubic meter. And if you do get water in the county or you receive these services, there are inserts coming in your next bill that will explain more about these changes. And speaking of water, so we measure our water in cubic meters, which to me does not make any sense, but that's fine. A cubic meter of water is 1,000 liters, which is approximately 12 bathtubs full, fun fact, or it is 3,334 cups of tea, which, coincidentally, is the same amount of tea that Reeve King and I are about to spill in this podcast. So please welcome our very first and special guest, Reeve Kenneth King.
Thank you for welcoming me here, and I look forward to our conversation.
Me too. Thank you so much for joining us today. So for our listeners and for those who might not know, can you explain what a Reeve does and kind of what your role entails in Kneehill County?
Okay, the Reeve is chosen by council to act as the chair for all council meetings and to be the official representative and spokesperson for council and Kneehill County. Also, the Reeve has the same role as the other councillors, which of course is to represent the residents of Kneehill County, to seek for the residents' input on various matters that affect the county, to budget county resources carefully, to preserve the services that our residents expect, and to maintain and improve our roads, other infrastructure, and of course, to the best of their ability, develop policy that will guide the county's day-to-day operations and provide a roadmap for staff as they plan toward the future of the county. Planning for the future is a key role for council.
So just a few things then.
Yeah. There's a small list.
Yeah, not much.
Yeah.
So how would you describe Kneehill County to someone who has never been here?
Well, for me, Kneehill County is an amazingly beautiful mix of landscapes, from gently rolling open farmland to the hills and trees of our parkland on the north, the breaks of the creeks and the coulees throughout the county, plus the Red Deer River Valley and the Canadian Badlands on the east. We have a variety of recreational opportunities like our parks, the campgrounds, the pools, rinks, ball diamonds, and playing fields within our urban neighbors, our diverse, enterprising, and innovative farmers and businesses, our friendly and helpful residents, all of which combine to make Kneehill County and area one of the best places in all of Alberta.
I 100% agree with that. And then, so what would you say it makes it unique compared to other municipalities?
In my opinion, it's the sense of community and the respect and care for each other that we see lived out every day here in Kneehill County.
Absolutely. So what are some of the biggest priorities for Kneehill County Council right now?
I would say proactive fiscal management. Council is constantly working to balance both present-day demand and the need to preserve and enhance our roads, water systems, buildings, and equipment going forward into the future. Working together with our staff, our management team, Council sees financial management as its first priority. Secondly, Council is planning toward the future for our present businesses and farms, as well as how we can attract and retain new business ventures within the county. Economic diversification is extremely important to provide stability for the county. For many residents and the council, the green energy rush, if we want to call it that, and the many proposals to develop commercial-scale wind and solar energy generation within Kneehill County has consumed much time. The current municipal development plan review that council hopes to finalize very soon has also taken much of council's time in the last year. I am sure that I speak for all of council and for staff when I say I think we'll all be glad when the municipal development plan is completed.
Yes, it's been quite the process, hasn't it?
It has.
So with all those in mind, what do you think the biggest challenge facing rural municipalities like ours is today?
I think financial pressures are always huge. Trying to balance expenditures and preservation of infrastructure in an environment of declining revenues due to pressure on assessment from the oil and gas lobby that's always in front of our provincial government, increasing amounts of cost downloads from the province, things like policing costs from the province, the massive effect of inflation on the cost of equipment and the everyday cost of doing business, costs to maintain our roads, our bridges, water lines, wastewater systems, solid waste disposal, things like the limited space that we have left in our Torrington landfill, and many, many other financial pressures, probably too numerous to mention. Another big challenge facing the county, of course, is the ongoing battle to preserve our municipal land management and land use goals in the face of provincial bodies like AUC, AER, NRCB, who have powers that basically can set aside any of the county's bylaws and regulations in the interest of what they see as the public good.
Right. It's very eye-opening actually what you have to deal with on a daily basis.
Very true.
Yes. So how does council work together to make decisions that benefit the county?
Each counselor comes with their unique perspective and life experience, along with what they're hearing from their residents. That perspective, along with the background and information provided by our staff, the leadership team, that's what's used to help us guide our decisions. The value of the diversity within council can never be undervalued. Any one of us could make the decisions that are in front of council. But by working together, carefully considering all the information and the different viewpoints, collectively, council will make a better decision than any one of us could make on our own. Council does not always agree on direction, but the collective will of the majority will ultimately decide any of the issues that are in front of council.
So, I mean, with the election kind of looming in 2025, what's something you wish more people understood about how municipal government operates?
I think one of the biggest misunderstandings that people have is how council is limited in many ways by the Municipal Government Act. Often residents expect council to have way more control than what we actually do.
Right.
Additionally, the pace of decision making often drives both myself as a counselor and all of us as counselors and our residents to distraction.
Right.
Allowing for carefully considered and fully reviewed decisions on the part of council, plus allowing each counselor to be ready to proceed on a decision is always worth taking time for. It's difficult for us as counselors at times to balance the legislative responsibility that we have to act in the best interest of the municipality as a whole and somehow still listen to the expressed wishes of those who have elected us.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that in mind, how would you explain how residents can get involved in local government and have their voices heard?
Well, since it's an election year, all eligible people can submit the necessary paperwork and run for council if they so choose. Residents can always contact their divisional counselor or any other counselor, for that matter, to discuss their concerns and issues that have arisen throughout the county. Any resident can request to come to council meeting and as a delegation to provide council with information on matters of concern to them. Council also holds community events each year to allow residents to see what's happening within the county, to discuss with council, the leadership team, and senior staff the issues of concern to them, or just to give a thank you to a particular staff member or department within our organization. Additionally, most councilors have started to have divisional meetings. So that's where their division residents or others who live within the county can meet with that counselor in particular, and most often the CAO and other senior leadership team members attend as well. Also, the county has opportunities for residents to participate in working groups, advisory events, public hearings, and to take membership on different committees like the Agricultural Service Board and the Municipal Planning Commission. At any time, residents can call the county office as well to bring forward their concerns and suggestions for our staff to address.
That is a lot of ways, actually, a lot more than I thought of. And I would just like to encourage anyone listening, when you do see these opportunities throughout the year, please come out to these meetings, come and meet your council, give them a call. They are accessible and they are always listening. So, what are some of the most exciting projects currently underway in the county that you would say?
I would say, from my point of view, the current economic development survey called BROOD, or Business Retention, Expansion, and Workforce Development Survey, offers some exciting possibilities to develop a foundation and a roadmap for fostering a competitive and supportive environment, to maintain existing farms and businesses, as well as to welcome new businesses and other types of development. There are some other exciting initiatives that Council have approved that will lay out the future for Horseshoe Canyon as well, and I'm very much looking forward to see what those plans look like. Also, the partnerships formed with our urban partners to assist in stabilizing medical services within our region, and the amazing ongoing work that's being carried out by our Kneehill Family and Community Support Services is always worth celebrating.
Absolutely. We are very, very lucky to have the community we do and the resources we have as well.
I agree.
So, kind of speaking of that, infrastructure and rural roads, they are always a hot topic here at the county. So, what's our approach to maintaining and improving them?
I don't think you could be a county or rural municipality councillor without hearing the words roads, roads, and roads. The county budget really does indicate the level of focus the council and the county place on our roads and infrastructure. The largest expenditures in our budget go towards things like road maintenance and improvements, as well as the maintenance of our other infrastructure: gravel, road maintenance, bridge replacement and upgrades, water and wastewater system maintenance and upgrades. Buildings and equipment are constant focus for staff and council. As an example of this focus, I think of the gravel excavation and stockpiling undertaken by the county a few years ago, a multi-million-dollar project that stabilized the county's gravel supply for perhaps the next 7 years, plus the Do You Have Gravel campaign that we most recently ran, where the county is looking to try and find and secure gravel for the longer term, and the focus that council has constantly on the maintenance of our road system.
Right. And it's always, I remember it was eye-opening when you see like the price attached to a lot of this infrastructure, right? Like,
Yes, we're talking millions and millions of dollars every year.
Yeah, it's crazy. So on the subject of economic development, it's a key to a thriving community, which we've discussed. How is Kneehill County working to attract businesses and create more opportunities?
The recent expansion of the county's economic development portfolio, the Business Retention and Expansion Survey, the dedication of funds and resources towards developing an economic development plan. Those things are being supported by council in order to build the foundation for future business attraction and to create opportunities for development, but also to help preserve the existing business that we have here, the farms and the businesses that are already currently here. And I guess I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to our planning and development staff who are daily working on developments and permitting to allow those developments to take place. Their efforts facilitate the day-to-day work required for residents, farms, and other businesses to build and expand. Economic development is legislative responsibility for us as a county, and economic development and the diversification within that is key to the future well-being of Kneehill County.
And what are we doing specifically, I guess, to support our local farmers, ranchers, and small business owners?
So I would say the county has a number of supports for local farmers and ranchers and small business owners through our municipal development plan and land use bylaws that are development friendly, and through the support provided through our economic development team. And again, I have to mention our planning and development staff. Additionally, the county's roads and infrastructure maintenance makes it possible for people to travel easily through the county for either farm, ranch, or other business reasons. Plus, we have an agriculture service board that provides many programs to support and enhance services for our farms and ranches. Services like the roadside weed control program and the mowing of roadsides are part of that agricultural service program that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And they often throughout the year, the Ag Service will have like workshops and educational opportunities for farmers and small business owners as well.
That's true as also.
So Kneehill County has some incredible natural areas. What efforts are being made to balance this economic growth with environmental stewardship?
I guess one of the most interesting things about economic development is it does not happen in isolation from all the other things that make a community. Things like schools, hospitals, recreational facilities, local shopping, hospitality venues, and of course our beautiful natural landscapes. Places like Buffalo Jump, Orkney Lookout, the Blariot Ferry, Horseshoe Canyon, And then there's Tolman Bridge, Keevers Lake, Brackeneer Dam, Blariot Ferry, Swalwell, all places of campgrounds and other recreational opportunities. All of these, as well as the guidelines that we have for development that strive to steward the land and the resources that we have, are the focuses for all of council, for the county as a whole, and of course for our urban neighbors.
Trying to find that balance, definitely.
It's hard,
Yeah.
but you have to strive for a balance.
Yeah. So, what is one hidden gem in the county that more people should know about?
It's kind of funny when I thought about that question. I'm not sure how I should answer this question, for if it's truly a hidden gem,
Yeah.
will I spoil it for those who go there and enjoy it as it is now?
Right.
So you wonder, well, should I really spill the beans or not? However, I would have to say, for me, it's not really hidden as a gem in Kneehill County. I would say Horseshoe Canyon.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's truly a novel geographic feature unique to Kneehill County. It's amazingly diverse. It's steeped in history all the way back to the dinosaurs.
Right.
An additional note I would make is in the last few years, during the peak summer season, Horseshoe Canyon has seen an average of 100,000 visitors per year.
Wow. That's a lot of visitors.
So I'm not so sure it's that hidden.
Yeah, no,
anymore.
maybe not. And they found a few dinosaurs actually in the canyon, haven't they,
Yes,
over
they
the
have.
last few
Yep.
years? That's so cool. So what would you say is your favorite local event or community tradition?
That one's easy for me. I would say it's the community sports days, it's the parades, it's the agricultural society events, the things that happen throughout the year. I enjoy really the gathering of community,
Yeah, and there's lots of opportunity for that around here,
Yes.
isn't there?
both within the county and with our urban neighbors.
So what inspired you to run for council and then eventually serve as Reeve?
Well, I've always been interested and involved in my community, and serving as a counselor was one way that I felt I could contribute in a positive way to our community. I enjoy my time as a counselor. Some people would say I'm crazy, but I do enjoy it. And I was not really seeking the Reeve role, as I felt Councillor Whitstock was doing an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was at his request and with council's support that I'm now serving both council and the community in the Reeves role.
And what's one thing you've learned in this role that surprised you?
Well, I would have to say it's how amazingly complex and difficult some days it is to operate a municipality. The diversity of both known and unknown factors that can impact any decision that we make, and how little control we have over the things that affect the county from outside, both provincial, federal, and global influencers. You said one thing, but I also want to say I'm constantly impressed with the effort and dedication, the work that the council team puts in, that I'm privileged to work with. And I would like to thank them for their support for me. I'm also very grateful to the many individuals who call to encourage and support my efforts as both a counselor and now as the Reeve.
And if you weren't in municipal politics, what do you think you'd be doing?
Well, I can tell you, I would not be sitting on my deck watching the world go by.
No.
Yes. I'm very grateful to my community for their support, and so I'm sure I would be involved supporting others and my community. I still work part-time in the agriculture industry as a consultant. I'm blessed with an amazing family that I love and who love me back. My wife, Ruth, who supported and encouraged me for the last 48 years. 4 married children living in the town of Trochu, and 8 grandchildren who I could follow from rink to rink or from gymnasium to gymnasium, from dance studio to dance studio. So I'm sure I could find things to fill my time.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's a very full, busy life.
Yes, that's the way I kind of like it.
So then what would be one fun fact about you that most people don't know?
I thought about that one, and I think the thing I would say is most people wouldn't be aware that I lived the first 11 years of my life in a town called Bear Creek, Yukon,
Oh,
just outside of Dawson City.
okay. Wow.
So we roamed wild and free, let me put it that way.
I can imagine.
Yeah, with my 5 brothers, we traveled lots of places and saw lots of things. And then when my sister came along, we included her in that as well.
Oh, fun.
So,
So let's see. What else do I have to ask you here? Oh, I missed this one. If you could describe Kneehill County in 3 words, what would they be?
I think that the words I used were beautiful, innovative, and welcoming.
Oh, those are good words. I definitely agree with you there, especially the beautiful part.
And I find the sense of community and the welcoming spirit of the people here is also very encouraging to me.
Yeah.
And we have farmers and business people. This community has always been very innovative and very willing to take on new approaches and to consider different ways of doing business.
So for residents who want to stay informed and engaged, where's the best place that they can find updates from the county?
Is there a best place? I would say like the county website, the county page in the Three Hills Capital. We have newsletters, county social media are all good sources. And of course, then there's always your local counselor.
Yes, that is true. It's always a challenge to try to find one way to communicate with everybody. So I think it's nice that we kind of diversify and try to meet people where they're at. So if you could leave residents with one key message about the future of Kneehill County, what would it be?
I would say that the future for Kneehill County is filled with promise and potential. Yes, there are hurdles and obstacles, but with our location in the province, with the willingness that our residents have to both innovate and to move forward, with the amazing staff and leadership that we have here at the county, the future is indeed bright. Municipal government is about designing, building, and maintaining community. It's very hard and very rewarding work, and I'm privileged to be able to have a part in that effort.
So for our listeners, what can they expect from future episodes of Kneehill Scoop?
I can probably promise them that they won't have to listen to me necessarily. However, this podcast is really designed to keep our residents informed about what's happening within Kneehill County. So what projects, services, or other initiatives are being delivered and how our residents can access those. And what matters to our residents most will be what's discussed from the county's perspective.
Absolutely. Yes. We look forward to bringing you more episodes of the Kneehill Scoop. So I just want to really thank you for joining me today, Reeve King. This has been a pleasure.
Well, it's been my pleasure as well. Thank you, Christine.
So for our listeners, I just want to thank you for tuning in as well. Make sure you tune in to our next episode, which will be released in February, where we are chatting with the finance team. It's going to be a wild time. So make sure you tune in and we'll talk to you then.
In audio.